Welcome to the North Forge Discovery Series. Today's webinar will be discussing how to position your solution for consideration. It is the fourth webinar in our 8-part discovery series on content marketing. Before we begin the webinar, we acknowledge that we are meeting virtually on the ancestral lands of Treaty 1 territory, the traditional gathering place of the Anishinaabe, Cree, Oji-Cree, Dakota, and Dene people, and the traditional homeland of the Métis people. For those of you who are new to our webinars, North Forge is the innovation partner of the province of Manitoba and an incubator accelerator supporting the growth of Canadian science-based, technology-enabled, and advanced manufacturing startups from the ideation stage all the way through to acceleration. We fuel Manitoba's economy, providing entrepreneurs with industry-leading mentors, award-winning growth coaches, and rockstar subject matter experts in our new 4-stage Founders Program. North Forge also has North America's largest nonprofit, publicly accessible fabrication lab located in Winnipeg's Exchange District. Our Fab Lab has helped over 3,000 entrepreneurs develop more than 7,500 prototypes using the $3 million of our precision advanced manufacturing equipment since 2011. The North Forge Discovery Series are free events that we host in conjunction and promotion of our Founders Program. If you have a business idea and would like to find out more about our Founders Program, please visit our website or reach out to our Program and Communication Manager, Krista Kowalik, and I'll place her contact information and our website in the chat shortly. With that, I would like to welcome Kevin Gordon, founder of Mimi and Director of Marketing for TechBlocks. Kevin was born in technology and raised in marketing. His 20 years experience includes a unique blend of technical and marketing experience, which has allowed Kevin to lead a team of high-performing developers and systems administrators to build integrated omnichannel marketing and sales technology platforms that are currently being used in retail stores across Canada and the US. And now, Kevin, the floor is all yours.
Thanks, Tina. Hello, everybody, and welcome to day 4 of our journey. So we're going to do a little bit of a recap, just like we did last time, and then we're going to go into breakout sessions again, because breakout sessions really allow us to collaborate and learn more about our own solutions and other people's solutions through collaborative conversation, collaborative learning. So just on a quick recap, when we talk about the content we should be creating, there's 12 types of content. Anything that is helpful, relevant, problem-solving, success stories, content that answers questions, is shareable, has a purpose for your partners, customers, and our community and our company, and topics that people are actively searching for. We use tools like SEMrush and Google Trends to help highlight those types of different topics that people are looking for to make it easier for you to find content that's worth sharing. You want to create content that is engaging for your readers, that could be slightly provocative, that provides actionable insights, and positions you as a thought leader. We also discussed that emotions sell, not logic. So when you're thinking through the solutions, think through what emotions your potential customers will be feeling. Is it fear? Are they looking for trust? Do they want to belong? Do they want more time? Do they want to be seen as a leadership? Or if you're like me and you're driving down Pembina Highway and you want some food, you swing by Burger King to get those instant gratifications of matzo sticks. So there's a lot of different ways you could be positioning your content, and it's important to understand how your consumers are thinking. So for today, we're going to be focusing on the second stage of the partner lifecycle, which is solution consideration. So we talked about on Tuesday that the first phase is all about problem research. The person is using their W statements: who, what, when, why, and where. And they don't quite know what their issue is. So we position it as, and the example I'm going to use today is going to be focused around the personal training industry. So in phase 1, it's why do I always feel tired as a potential question, or why am I gaining weight, or similar topics. In the solution consideration, it's our job to lay out all the different options for the customer so they can weigh out their options. If you provide biased opinion, so that is opinion that is completely self-serving and focuses on your business, they're going to see it as a sales pitch. So what we want to do is lay out all the options, whether they have to do with our business or not. And you're going to see what that looks like. And it doesn't mean you have to recommend a competitive solution, it doesn't mean you have to turn away business, but what you're doing is just laying out the opportunities. These customers are going to do their research anyway. If you think of platforms like, or if you're in the tech space, you'll know of platforms like G2 and Clutch and Business of Apps. These websites, let's see here, those websites will review and rank software and services and companies based on their own independent research. So whether you are providing the research or not, their customer is going to get it. The benefit of you providing research and comparisons is you get to control the narrative. And even if you're not the number one option in a specific category, you can spin it as to why that's okay and why people would consider you anyway. Our goals in this phase are really to continue building trust, keep building your brand awareness, but now we want to start positioning you as that solution provider. And again, we're going to walk through this journey together as to what that looks like. Secondary goals, of course, are getting people to stay on your website. It's about increasing engagement and boosting SEO. And if you're lucky, somebody's going to pick up your content and publish it or link to it from their site, which helps with credibility as well. Content type that works well for the solution consideration stage are things like ROI or cost calculators. So will your solution save them money? And if so, how much? So when we're thinking of LED lighting, what is the wattage difference for LED lighting versus fluorescent lighting? Could you put in the cost of power in different provinces like BC, Alberta, Saskatchewan, Manitoba, Ontario, and allow them to choose their province and then choose the time of day, because we know in other provinces there's time of day billing, and then calculate how many lights do they have and what would they save if they replaced into LED. Having calculators helps. So does having how-to guides. Comparison charts, product demos, even describing what sets your product or services apart from your competition, different lists and of things. Everyone loves listicles, so top 10 lists, top 5 lists, things like that. And of course, if you can get user-generated content talking about your solution or your product, that will help as well. Now, we're going to talk about that more when we come back in the next Tuesday, about how user-generated content helps with vendor selection and product selection. But this is where you want to start highlighting things that are related to a specific product. So if you have multiple products and you can bring in user-generated content on one or two of them, that is fantastic. And these people are going to look for content on Google. They're going to use review sites. They're going to use social media, third-party publications, and of course, friends and family. People love friends and family, and testimonials and reviews from friends and family actually test higher and are considered more authoritative than what people find on our own website. 86% of consumers say that authenticity is important when deciding what brands they want to use. And something like 80% of consumers are able to tell the difference between fake authentic content and actual authentic content. So if you're trying to fake something, they did a study where they showed two images. And they said, which of these is user-generated content? They both looked like it could have been something that somebody just took on their own. So I think it's like between 70 and 80% of the time, the people were able to pick out what photo was done by the brand and what photo was done by an actual person at the same sort of shot. So when you're producing content, you have to be authentic, because if you're not, they're going to rip you apart for it. User-generated content is seen as 3 times more authentic than brand-produced content. So brand-produced content is seen as authentic 20% of the time. User-generated content is seen as authentic 60% of the time. So if you can get users to provide content, whether it's guest blog articles, guest posts on social media, guests on podcasts, whatever that might be, or attending their podcasts or guest posting on their blogs, using some sort of user-generated content or shared marketing will really help you position yourself as a thought leader. If you'd like more information on this report, I have a link here to the fullstackla.com data report on user-generated content and other metrics that you may find interesting. So I'm going to go back to the fitness example, and I don't know if he was able to dial in. It looks like he's missing. So unfortunately, he's not going to get the value of this. So hopefully he watches a replay. Mr. Smith, if you're watching this, here, this one's for you, because it was really easy to work.
Okay, I'm here.
Oh, you're here? Oh, you're
Yeah,
You're purely speakers this morning.
Oh, is it? Sorry, I've got to change that. That's like my Toastmasters club. Sorry about that.
No worries. I'm like, oh, we have a new attendee today. No, it's just you're just using a different name. So you're actually going to find this next section a little bit interesting because I use this example specifically around your business. So here's an example. In the day one, we said a problem statement could be, why do I always feel tired? And we're going to offer 3 options. So ignore the fact that the second one is here twice. It's kind of broken. But so 1, you have a sleeping disorder preventing you from getting a restful night's sleep. So you could have an article on why sleep is important for your overall health and your fitness. How old, you could even talk about how old is your mattress? When was the last time you changed your pillow? Is your bedroom noisy? Is it cold? Do you have a partner that kicks? Do you have a partner that snores? These are reasons why you might always feel tired. Number 2 is you don't get enough physical activity. So you could make recommendations like try to move around every 30 minutes during the day, even if it's just to stand up and do some stretches at your desk. Take the dog for a walk. 3, get a gym membership. And then that leads into another set of content, right? So this is one article. We're talking as this is like being one article. Why do I always feel tired? You're writing an article, and in this case, you're providing 3 to 5 reasons why somebody might always feel tired. 1 or 2 of them is something you can help solve. So 2, they don't get enough physical activity. So you talk about, here's all these different options, and these are selfless options. If they go and take the dog for a walk every day, that's not going to help you as a business owner. But, looks like Perry just joined. Welcome, Perry. But the one we want them to do is get a gym membership. And then from there, you could talk about why getting a gym membership is important. You could have statistics on people who have a gym membership are, 20% more likely to reach their fitness goals, or 50% more likely to be active 3 days a week. Well, but then how do you become successful at the gym? Hire a personal trainer, register for their free courses, and have an accountability buddy who goes with you. The hire a personal trainer one is the one you want them to consider. And then the third option of why you always feel tired, and again, this could be 3 to 5, it could be 10, it could be 20. And you can literally just go on Google, type this in, why do I always feel tired? And you're going to get like 20 million articles. All of them have lists. Like you'll see WebMD has a list of top 10 reasons why I always feel tired. Healthline has top 9 reasons why you feel tired and what you can do about it. So use other people's ideas and recreate the content. The third one is you're not eating well. You're not eating well enough. You might not be drinking enough water or clear fluids. You might not be eating enough nutrient-dense food. Another option is you could hire a professional for meal planning services. So if we think of this from a journey, somebody goes to Google and says, why am I always tired? They find an article from you that has a nice photography, and if you've ever heard of Pexels, PEXELS.com or unsplash.com, you can get tons of free photos. The next 3 slides are all free photos from the site that you can use royalty-free on your website to help splash things up. But so why are you always tired? 5 reasons why you may be tired. You got your intro stuff, you got some text. One of the options is exercise. You can see that the word sleep and physical activity is important for health are highlighted. The reason why in this case is those are links. So in this case, physical activity is important for health would then link to another article, why physical activity is important for your health, how to get 30 minutes of physical activity every day. And then you go and talk about the different options or whatever you're recommending. It might be 30 minutes every day. It might be 60 minutes 3 times a week. You know your space. So you create this article. And one of the options is, you might have 5 options: walk the dog, go for a walk with your wife, play with your kids, get up and stretch at work, go to the gym, hire a personal trainer, boom. So then you have some statistics around personal training, and you have the link out to why somebody would want to hire a personal trainer. So then you have another article, why you should consider a personal trainer. Is personal training right for you? So we're still talking about the solution. Somebody is having issues with feeling tired, and now you've walked them through the journey of different options. Somebody might, remember we talked about this being a branch where somebody can be like, okay, it's my diet, it's my exercise, it's health concerns, it's my mattress is 20 years old and it's really uncomfortable. Cool. If they decide that their mattress is the issue, great. They're not going to bother you. Or they may come back later and go, yeah, you know what, that didn't work. I'm going to try something else. And they're going to try diet and exercise. So then you have an article here, ready to get started with a personal trainer, learn how to find a personal trainer that's right for you. So that next link will then go to the vendor selection or the solution provider thing that we're going to be talking about next week, or I guess in 2 weeks when we come back, on how you position yourself as that person who would be the right fit. Now, remember we talked about on Tuesday that most of the buying journey is between 55 and 70% of the buying journey is done before they even talk to you. So this is helping to control that narrative and control the conversation. So the person clicks on find a personal trainer, they get another, or how to find a personal trainer, they get another article on how to find one that's right for you. And if you are that right fit, the logical next step would be for them to reach out to you. The other benefit of this is if you have your pixels set up for like Google Analytics or Google AdWords, Facebook advertising, LinkedIn advertising, Google Analytics, you can use all of this information for retargeting. You can also drop in an email subscription form somewhere along the way that if somebody's read 2 articles on your website, you could have a thing that pops up and says, hey, if you'd like more information, subscribe to our email. And then they get your email address. You can now tie all of this back, all their browsing history back to a single person. That can go into your marketing automation system, whether it's HubSpot or MailChimp or Salesforce or another CRM system. So you can actually get some meaningful benefit and data back to you. Because remember, we're not producing content for the sake of producing content. There has to be a purpose for it. And this quote from Larry Fink is actually really interesting. If you've ever heard of BlackRock Group, they're a major investor in the US, but the public expectation of your company has never been greater. Every company must not only deliver financial performance, which is a duh moment. If you're not making money, your investors, your shareholders are just going to walk away and say, you know what, we're done, we're closing up shop. But also how it shows you're making a positive contribution to society. Without a sense of purpose, no company can achieve its full potential. So for fitness training, your sense of purpose is you really want the world to be healthier. You want people to be physically fit. You want them to live better lives. How you do that is through a combination, in this case, of education and knowledge, as well as providing one-on-one services to those who have a need and a budget to hire you. So this is kind of this next logical step, right? So first one again is problem, then we go into the solution consideration. You have a bunch of articles that guide that journey, that nurture the person. And then if they're the right fit, then they're going to reach out to you. So remember, not all clients are the right fit. Not everybody is going to be the buyer that you want to talk to, and that's fine. But by creating this content, and again, we think of SEO as a leaky bucket. You've got your cup of water or SEO juice. You add more content into the top. If you don't keep adding content, your SEO goes down. And there's some stats on, we talked about in the first week, companies that produce a specifically large sum of content get more leads than those who don't. But basically, they basically say if you produce 4 blog articles a week, you're going to be doing way better than somebody who produces none. Well, kind of duh. But producing 1 a week is also good as well. So what we're going to do is we're going to go back into our breakout groups. And if we go alphabetical order again, we should be roughly in the same order we were for Tuesday. But what I want everyone to do is we're going to go back into our breakout groups and we're going to do the speaking thing again. Because there might be somebody new in your group, just reintroduce your company to the group, what you do, remind them of who your persona is. And again, you don't have to go into a deep dive like you did on Tuesday, just a very light touch like, hi, I'm Kevin Gordon from Mimi Corporation. My persona is people or buyers who are the chief technology officers of companies who are responsible for cybersecurity on their website. Then go into 1 or 2 of the problem statements you generated on Tuesday. Remember, the homework from Tuesday was to try to come up with 10 to 20 problem statements. And from there, narrow it down to 2 to 3 that you think you would be able to expand on in a group setting. So present your 1 or 2 topics, and the group members as a group discuss the problem statement and possible solutions. The solutions do not need to be related to the company's product or service. And the person speaking should also be thinking of different ways that they feel that they could position solutions that might be related or not related to their business. So again, if you think of the LED lighting example, LED lighting is a great example, but what about halogen? What about CFL? What about putting in skylights? What about reducing your energy costs by having automated lights like the Innovation Center at the U of M has there, where the lights only turn on when you walk into an area. So there's all these different things you could recommend, but talk about the solutions that are related to the problem statement. We're going to spend about 10 minutes per company, and then we're going to switch. So we should have about 3 to 4 people in each group, just like we did on Tuesday. That'll bring us up to about 110. And then we're going to regroup and talk about what we learned and next steps for the following Tuesday session.
Wonderful. Thank you so much, Kevin. I'll open all the rooms now.
And before we, Tina, I'm just going to say no to room 3 because I'm not going to bounce in right now. But before we go into our groups, does anybody have any questions for me before we go into our individual rooms? Nope. Okay, so no questions. So yeah, Tina, if you want to keep pushing people into their rooms, I just have to go use the washroom after we go into our breakout sessions, but then I'll be back in about 5 to 10 minutes.
Sounds good. See you all soon.
And I guess I got to hit the share screen button again here. Hey, there we go. All right, everyone. Oops, sorry, give me 1 sec. My phone is ringing. I'm just going to put it on mute here so it doesn't vibrate all over my desk. So we just finished the solution exercise. So I went around to some of the rooms, and there's a lot of great conversations. There's some conversations that were a little bit off of where we were anticipating we would be. So the intent of the exercise, and I'll reframe, and these will be part of the homework. But if you think of your problem statement, so for example, at Mimi, we make a product that allows for social media verification, user-to-user verification, and for users to log into third-party websites using securely backed by government-issued photo ID. So if I was somebody, like let's say one of my personas at Mimi is companies who sell, or people who in companies that sell restricted or controlled products. And I apologize, my camera's on. Let me fix that here. So companies that sell restricted or controlled products. So you think of Manitoba Liquor and Lotteries as a perfect example. You think of SkipTheDishes. You think of Pineapple Express that delivers, it's like the SkipTheDishes for cannabis. And one of the things I know from that industry is they have issues where the driver gets to the door and the person doesn't have ID or isn't 19 years of age, and now they've got a burned order they have to bring back to the distributor. So problem statement for them might be, how do I screen cannabis purchasers before they make a purchase? Or how do I verify age before a sale? So that would be my problem statement. Yeah, and just loosely. And so my solutions might be, you could use a solution like Mimi. You could have the person take a picture of their ID and send it to you. You could have the person come into store and verify their ID before they ever make their first purchase. You could have, so I could list out the different ways that the user could verify their age before they made a purchase to prevent the orders from getting burned in delivery from not being able to be delivered. Similarly, if I was, at TechBlocks, my other day job is we're an IT outsourcing company. We do custom software for companies. So one of the compelling things that people would ask us is why, or would be more around our cloud engineering services. So we do things with like Microsoft and stuff, but they might say, my application server keeps crashing, or my email server is running slow. So the things that for an email server running slow might be, you could upgrade the hardware, you could move it to the cloud, you could clean out the database, you could do all these things. And one of those options is move your email server to the cloud. Hands up, that's what we do. We want them to then consider that solution. And then we go down that rabbit hole. So again, using the example we created for the fitness is, just trying to get the screen to go back here, is you kind of build this like tiered system, right? Why do I always feel tired? Here are the reasons why, here are the solutions. And some of the solutions might be relevant to your business. Some of the solutions might not be, but you're laying out all the options to the person and giving them the option or the opportunity to choose what's right for them. So I'd love to just ask for some people to come off of mute. Tell us who you are, your name and the name of your company, And did you learn anything new about content you should be creating related to the solution stage? I'm going to call on some people since we don't have any volunteers.
Kevin, I am a volunteer.
Oh, sorry. Go ahead.
Yeah, well, I learned something today. Actually, it's one of my, in fact, it's one of my the things I need to solve with this startup. And I received a very good tip, like another platform who has something that I can modify and apply to my idea.
Oh, excellent.
I'm sorry, my name is Christian, and the company is called Energy Market.
Excellent. Thanks, Christian.
I mean, obviously I have as well, because you've given examples about my industry. So, you know, I've obviously gained a lot, and you know, within the group as well, they came up with further suggestions, which perhaps I wouldn't have thought about. A few useful, handy things, and then obviously what you've written as well. So yeah, just for anyone who doesn't know me, you know, I'm a personal trainer, and my target market would be men over 30 who want to lose weight, who want to improve their appearance and look good and feel energetic, be, you know, role models for their kids, prevent bad health in the future years. So
see, you just mentioned an interesting. You just mentioned an interesting one there. You want to be a good role model for your kids. That also then ties into. Remember, we're talking about the fear response earlier. Is, you know, I am a new dad. I've got an 11-month-old son. One of the things I fear is dying early and leaving my wife and kid on their own. So creating that fear of, if you don't get healthy, you could leave your family stranded if you die prematurely, is definitely one of those areas that content could be created around. And so that's perfect that you're thinking that way, because emotions sell, not logic. I'm going to call on, I know we had a great conversation, Alexander Spence, if you don't mind jumping in. And I know we had a great conversation in your breakout room.
Yep, absolutely. Sorry, so my business is, well, I'm a partner at a financial advisory or wealth management practice here in Winnipeg. So we offer financial planning and retirement planning and investment services to high net worth clientele. And in terms of what I learned or what I gained from this exercise, as Kevin said, he helped me a bit directly, or he helped our room a bit directly. You know, he really brought forward creating content with a specific language that someone would search. So in my industry, that may be something such as, do I have enough money saved for retirement? And then building off of that, as opposed to, I think what I've been doing thus far is more so leading with a solution and saying, here's something you should do, as opposed to leading with a problem, which is just the opposite tact of saying, here's the problem, and then here's what you should do about that.
Perfect. Well, thank you. I appreciate the feedback as well. Yeah, it really is a different way of thinking, because traditionally as marketers and as sales reps, remember when we talked about in like the first session last week on the phases of marketing, and at one point it was like, buy my solution because you don't have a choice, and it was buy my solution because I don't have a choice. And then we went into this, you know, more of the soft-handed, like modern marketing phase of, hey, like we have a solution that's right for you, as opposed to, you know, it went from the whole, we have a solution that might fit, but you're going to use it anyway, to this solution actually fits. So it's about making the product fit the customer's needs, not making the needs fit the customer's problem. So when you start thinking of it from what's the customer's problem and how to use your product to solve it. And again, that goes to week one, where we talked about the types of content here, like, you know, considering the 5 W's, right? The who, the what, the where, the when, and the why. The how comes later. The how is your solution. but these are the things that people are typing into Google. How do I lose weight? Do I have enough money? Which is basically the same as saying, how much money do I need? Or I guess, sorry, how's again comes later, but you get the idea of you're asking the question, how much money do I need to retire? How do I lose weight? Why am I always tired? How do I get a will? Do I need a will? Sort of thing. And then we talked about some of these like really simple samples that I showed. And then, just some generic ones of how do I reduce turnover? How do I increase customer satisfaction? How do I reduce operating expenses? So starting at the top, it's very generic, right? You got this big wide funnel at the top, and then you're going to slowly narrow down what the person's looking for by hand holding that conversation. So before we go on to the next slide, is there any other feedback? And then I'm going to give the homework for next week, and then I'll let Tina do her wrap up. So either come off mute or use the hand raise button, and then we'll call on you. Going once? Going twice? All right. So homework so we have a week break. I'm unable to host next week. A little bit of a background as to why is Mimi Corp got accepted into the Tampa Bay Wave Cybersecurity Accelerator. So I have to go down to Tampa next week for 5 days of intensive training and development with the Tampa Bay Wave Accelerator Group, which is absolutely awesome. And actually was a referral of Anthony, who's also a North Forge founder. So it was a great tie in there. So the North Forge network works, everyone. So really good, really happy to be part of the group. Oh, sorry, I just see a chat here, but I'm going to be down there next week, which is the reason why I'm unable to, thanks Tina, why I'm unable to host next week. So you have basically a week and a bit to complete the homework assignment, which is try to flesh out those 10 to 20 problem statements. And again, it could be, how do I boost employee engagement at work? How do I, why do I have low morale at work? How do I increase or how do I decrease my operating expenses? How do I get support for doctor's appointments? How do I make sure my loved ones are taken care of? So try to come up with 10 or 20 problem statements and then assign those to your personas. You should have 2 to 3 personas. And then for each of those problem statements, try to come up with 5 solutions, even if they have nothing to do with you. So again, using the personal training example, personal training is one of the ways you can get fit, but so is eating healthy, so is cutting out smoking or drinking, getting enough sleep. There's a lot of things that can go into your health. Personal training just happens to be one of them. And then assign those problems and solutions to your personas, just like you did in the first phase. So by the end of this, you might have a list. If you have 10 to 20 problem statements, you might end up fleshing out 5 solutions. You may have a list of 50 to 100 things that you could write content about. When we come back in 2 weeks, the next topic will be on how do you position yourself as a vendor that somebody may want to do business with. What's your compelling or unique selling proposition as a company? And then after that, we'll go into, of course, the last phase, which is the post-sale content. So with that, I'm going to turn it over to Tina to do the closing section.
Thank you so much, Kevin. Thank you for helping us understand how to position our solutions for consideration and for answering everybody's questions. And thank you, everyone, for being a part of this North Forge Discovery Series. We are continuously improving our events and would love your feedback with a short 1-minute survey. I will pop that into the chat. Thank you so much. And some of you have talked about wanting to keep in touch with each other after the webinar series. If you'd like to, and this is totally optional, you can add your info to this Google form, and I'll place that one in the chat. And watch your email for the links to the video and references discussed today. We're looking forward to seeing you, like Kevin had said, for the 5th one a week from now, the Journey for the Sale. And if you have not had a chance to sign up for that yet, I'll pop that into the chat. And if you want to find out about all the other events that are coming up on on the calendar. I'll add that one to the chat as well. If you have an idea that would solve a problem in your industry and would like to find out more about our Founders Program, please visit our website or reach out to Krista Kowalik, our Programming Communication Manager, and she'll have a chat with you. Before we wrap up for the day, we'd like to thank our sponsors, Bell MTS, TDS Law, RBCX, Bitspace Development, Princess Auto, Stu Clark Center for Entrepreneurship at the University of Manitoba, Boxtel Construction, 6P Marketing, PCL Construction, and that wraps up our 4th of 8 content marketing webinars. Have a wonderful rest of the day, everyone. Take care.
Bye, everyone. Thanks again. And if anybody has any questions, feel free to send me a LinkedIn message.